Thank you, Noel, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's an extreme honor to be Canada's Consul General here in this great city of New York. And it's also a privilege to stand before you for about the second time in nearly a month at a Foreign Policy Association event. We at the Consulate have a long history of dealing with the Foreign Policy Association, and we believe it is the perfect venue, the gold standard, to discuss this incredible relationship that is Canada and the United States. Je vous souhaite tous le bienvenue cet après-midi. Je suis ravi de vous voir et je suis certain que ça va être une très intéressante discussion par le ministre des Finances du Canada, M. Flaherty. For a moment, in this busy city with so much vitality, I want us to reflect for a brief moment on this incredible relationship that we call Canada and the United States. If the fundamental role of the state is to provide peace and prosperity and security to its people, then no two other countries in the history of mankind have provided such attributes to each other. Let's think about our trading relationship. The largest trading relationship in the world, just under $700 billion. Let's put it into context. That's $1.8 billion every single day. $1.3 million every single minute. 35 of the 50 states in this great country call Canada their #1 export market. In my adopted state here in New York trades more with Canada than it does with the next two countries combined. In the state of New Jersey next door, it trades more with Canada than the next 3 countries combined. Every year, some 10 million 18-wheelers cross our border, bringing goods and services. Those are all interesting stats, but what do they really mean? They mean that they provide 8 million jobs for Americans in this country. 8 million Americans depend on trade with Canada. Here in my home state of New York, it's just under 600,000. And in Jersey, it's just over 250,000. So we provide peace and prosperity for each other. Let's also think about energy. We are the #1 supplier of energy to this great nation. And this great nation also received some encouraging words on the energy front this week. But think of what we can do together for North American security, stability, and economic growth if we work even closer on energy. #1 supplier of oil to the United States is Canada. #1 supplier of natural gas to the United States is Canada. #1 supplier of clean, renewable electricity coming from the province of Quebec. #1 supplier. And it goes on also to uranium. So when we think about energy, we think about commerce, we think about all the good things that our two nations do together. But it's not only about that. I want to tell you something that's really important that has occurred recently. This area has been hit hard by a storm. And like a good neighbor, there are over 700 Canadians working today, restoring electric power and natural gas connections, particularly in Long Island. That's over 700 Canadians here working today. So dear friends, as we reflect on this incredible relationship, I also want you to think about the role model that we are as nations to the rest of the world. And I ask you, can you imagine what kind of world we'd live in if every country had neighbors like we do? And if we were the role model for how nations should conduct their affairs, it'd be a much greater world. With that, I wish you bon appétit, and we'll hear from one of the most incredible finance ministers certainly Canada's had, and fate has brought him also the leading or the most experienced global finance minister in the G20. Bon appétit.